Welcome to Upticks with Jake Falcon, founder and CEO of Falcon Wealth Advisors. In this podcast, we help high net worth individuals overcome financial complexities. We do this by enhancing financial literacy and discussing topics in a language free from industry jargon. Join us as we help explain exactly what having a solid financial plan means, as Jake draws from years of experience in helping hundreds of individuals get financially organized and focused on their goals. We hope you find Upticks educational, entertaining, and shareable. Now, on to the show.
Welcome back to the show. This is episode 236, Pro Golfer Chase Hanna. Chase, thank you for joining us on episode of Upticks here.
Yeah, of course. Thanks, Jake. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, and we love to switch up the topic from time to time. And certainly, Chase, since you are a pro golfer that we're out there supporting, we thought it was perfectly relevant to have you on the show. And so for today's show, we just wanted to give a little bit of your backstory, kind of what's going on in your life now. And then maybe you can give some tips to the hackers out there, such as myself, on ways that we can get better and enjoy the game of golf more, if you don't mind.
All right. See what I can do.
Yeah. So Chase, so just to dive in, let's go right into it. So if you could tell us a little bit about maybe where you grew up and where you went to school.
Yeah. So I was born in Kansas City. Kind of a funny fact is I was born to the same doctor as my wife here in Kansas City. So born in Kansas City, still live in Kansas City. Went to Shawnee Mission East, and then went to Kansas. So I graduated in 2017 from Kansas. I've been out 6 years now, which it does not feel that long.
Right. And you grew up playing at a club I was a member of, Meadowbrook, right? Country club?
Yeah, sure did. I probably played there for, I don't even know, 6 years, maybe, something like that. And that's obviously kind of a connection of ours. And I drive by there every once in a while whenever I'm in town. And definitely still wish it was there. I have so many great memories with lifelong friends, and yeah, it was just a great place to practice and really spend so much of my time growing up there.
Yeah. What was your lowest round out there? Do you remember?
Yeah, I do. I played with Billy Knabe, my best man's dad, in the club championship. I shot 64 the first round. I think
That's
that was
awesome.
I don't think the members were real thrilled about that we were playing in the club championship, but I think that was my lowest round.
64. Was that the course record?
I think so. I'm not. I think it was, but I'm not really sure. We never had like any big level events at Meadowbrook, so yeah. I mean, it was obviously a great score.
Yeah, because that's a really good score, because it wasn't, I mean, it was kind of a neighborhood course and kind of flat, but it wasn't easy by no means.
No, yeah, it was obviously short, kind of landlocked, and then but it was tight, and yeah, I don't even know how old I was, probably in high school, probably 17 or 18, and got hot.
That's awesome. And so now, sadly, Meadowbrook is now developed into, a community of homes and restaurants and hotel. So you can say, though, that you potentially, we think, forever have that course record. So that's pretty awesome. It'll never be broken.
Yeah, one positive, I guess, of
right.
Meadowbrook going under.
So I'm curious, Chase, when did you start playing golf?
My mom's dad got me into golf, and just remember playing with plastic clubs at a super young age, and just from there kind of fell in love with it. Probably playing at his 9-hole course in Carthage, Illinois, I guess would be one of my first memories.
Yeah, really. So you're probably thinking like 6 or 7 years old, something like that.
Yeah, I would say even less with the plastic clubs. Like I was just swinging around like a madman. But yeah, really, ever since I can, you have memories probably of just playing with my papa. Yeah, just playing around the 9-hole course, and that was really kind of how I got started in the game.
That's awesome. That's all. And now, were you now growing up in middle school and high school? Did you just play golf, or did you play basketball, run track, or do anything else, or was it straight golf all the way through?
I played all the sports growing up. I mean, I played football for a year, soccer. Yeah, I played everything. I played basketball all 4 years at Shawnee Mission East. So I played golf, obviously, and basketball. So I really didn't play golf at all for 3 to 4 months, a little bit. until I got to KU. So, yeah, I mean, I loved basketball, still do to this day. I hope to, if I'm not really sure on my schedule yet, but if I'm able to, I'd love to go to a few NCAA tournament games to follow the Jayhawks.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say that's a huge part of, playing basketball and playing a team sport has definitely helped me in golf.
Yeah, I'm sure. And so, so that kind of leads to my next question. So why golf? So if you obviously had to be good to play at Shawnee Mission East basketball, probably. So like, was golf just something you excelled at, and so that's why you decided to go pursue it further than basketball, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, I couldn't play at high level, right? Basketball. I mean, I was a solid player in high school, but I definitely couldn't play at the D1 level. So golf was clearly the route I was going to go. But we just had such a good group of guys on my basketball team all 4 years that I just wanted to play basketball all 4 years, and golf was kind of always the one I played in the summer. While our better players would be playing basketball all summer, but I was playing golf, and yeah, I don't know, just kind of felt like I was born to be a golfer. I guess there's no real reason.
Right, got it.
I
Good.
have a quick
Cory,
question.
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Cory.
I just wanted to ask you, Chase. So when did you? I'm just curious. Do you remember? Was there a moment? Do you know the moment when you knew that you really felt like, I might be able to give this golf thing a run. Like I might be able to go play this in college and play professionally. I'm just curious. When did you have that moment, if you had it?
Yeah, I don't know if I had like a moment, but I won the Kansas Junior Amateur, I won the Kansas Amateur, so I kind of just like slowly got better and better and better, and started to beat the guys in Kansas City, started to beat the guys in the state, started to be able to compete at a national level. And I think the biggest encouragement for me is I was always improving. Like every year, there was noticeable improvement. You could look at the scores, you could look at the results. So that gave me, I think, the most confidence I could keep going, because I mean, it's obviously very difficult at various levels, and you lose a lot more than you win in golf. So, but the main thing was I was still enjoying it, and I was getting better each year.
Excellent.
Yeah, and what's great now, so for our viewers that don't know, you're on the DP World Tour, which is the former European Tour, which to me has got to be the hardest tour to play on, because that means you are in, like this year you've been in Dubai, Singapore, Thailand, India, right?
Yeah.
And we're in March. I mean, that's a lot, Chase. And so can you shed some light on a little bit about what that experience has been like? This is your second year, right, on that tour full time, I believe.
Yeah, so this is, I would consider, kind of my third year in Europe.
Okay.
So I played the Challenge Tour, which is the AAA tour for the viewers out there who aren't up to date with golf, and then got off that and I've been on the DP World Tour for 2 years, and this is my second kind of full season. And yeah, we literally play all around the world. We play everywhere, it seems like. And the travel is a lot. The schedule has gotten much better this year, I think, than last. We have scheduled breaks, and the travel's been a little better, as it's, not having to go crazy travel in between weeks. There's really only one of those that I see on the schedule that's kind of like, wow, that's not ideal. But they've done a great job with the schedule this year. And yeah, it's tough. The travel is not easy. The time changes are brutal. Coming home for me is always the toughest, because you're kind of like, you don't really have a set schedule when you get home, so it's kind of hard to get on the time. And but yeah, I love it, and I'm getting to see parts of the world that I would obviously never see any other time for any other reason. So.
Right. That's awesome. So what's been the biggest surprise, or that like you're like, I never knew that this was a thing, or maybe something that you've learned or that you've grown to love because of your world travels now? I'm just curious.
Well, I mean, it's easy to focus on the negatives, right, with all the travel, but there's so many like amazing, the travel is hard with the time changes, but you're able to see just different cultures and how it works. And well, I mean, it's hard to say one thing, but you get like Thai food, for example. I love Thai food. Like Thai food's great, and you got Thai food all over the world, and it's healthy. And so I guess, I mean, that's kind of one thing.
Yeah, you don't really get that in Kansas, right?
You learn to enjoy different foods.
Right.
You have to adjust. But But I got a little taste of that. It was right out of college. I played on the Latin American tour for a year and a half. So I kind of that period of time really allowed me to kind of learn how to be a pro, for kind of lack of a better way to put it. I just learned how to travel, learned how to kind of just become a professional at what you're doing. You're on your own, and you don't have it's different from college golf where everything's kind of taken care of for you besides playing. So yeah, I mean, that was that was definitely a year and a half. It's really helped me over in Europe.
Yeah, that's awesome. That makes a lot of sense. And so I'm curious though, you've played probably thousands of rounds of golf with tons of amateurs at all levels.
Mm-hmm.
What's the one tip that you see that like most amateurs could benefit from to get better at the game, or maybe just enjoy it a little bit better? Because you've played thousands of rounds.
In terms of enjoying it, the average golfer has no idea like the time that it takes to become, the level that they think in their mind they should be. So they get, they always get super upset and frustrated. And I think to myself, like, this guy probably hasn't played golf in like 2 months, and I think sometimes their expectations are so outrageously high for themselves. It's like you should just be enjoying it. And if you actually want to play and really improve and set goals to improve, like that's great. So amateur is such a wide spectrum of abilities and golfers, but I mean, the main thing is to enjoy it. And then obviously it depends if you're trying to become one of the better players at the club, or if you're just trying to enjoy the walk and enjoy the camaraderie with your friends. But obviously, just if you want to be good, you got to spend a lot of time and a lot of hard work and practice and dedication to it, because probably more than any other sport, it's just a lot of time. There's so many different areas of the game that you have to work on, and it's very unique in that aspect.
Right. It's not like you're an NFL lineman and you just got to get really big and know whether to pull or block or whatever. You have to chip, you have to putt, you have to drive, you have to have sand shots. So tell me, like a lot of this is kind of cliche, but what's like a typical day? Like what's a typical practice session for you? Because I know you're all over the world traveling, but like when Chase Hanna's working on his game, what are you doing? And what's that commitment look like?
Yeah, so maybe like the best example would be just like run through a week.
Great.
My off weeks will change just depending on how I'm feeling or whatever. But Monday you arrive. Like let's say you played the week before, so either Sunday night or Monday night you'll arrive. You'll either take a late flight on Sunday or early flight Monday probably, and then you'll just kind of try to get your feet under you. Maybe play 9 holes, maybe do a little bit of putting and hit some balls and like work on whatever you're working on. But the main thing, like when you're in your run of events, is you just have to kind of prioritize rest on that Monday, Tuesday, because usually you have a pro-am Wednesday, or that's kind of a big practice day for me, like Wednesday before the tournament. So the main thing is getting to know the course, getting to know the grass, getting to know the green speed, stuff like that, and then Wednesday I would say it's a big practice day, and then Thursday you got to be ready to go, because you either at a general tournament, you either play early, late, Thursday, Friday. So you'll tee off either in the morning on Thursday and afternoon on Friday, or you'll have the quick turnaround of late Thursday, early Friday, which is, you have more time, I guess, to prepare because you're late on Thursday, but then you play 36 holes in a short amount of time. So, I mean, it just depends, but, you're spending pretty much all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday at the golf course. Gym, seeing the physios if something's nagging you or whatever. And then you're ready to go on Thursday. So yeah, it's kind of a whirlwind. The weeks go pretty fast, and definitely rest is a huge priority leading up to the events.
Yeah, and you told me, you and I had lunch, and you said you're a big fan of that Whoop bracelet. Can you talk a little bit about how that's been?
Yeah, it's big for me. I mean, it just tracks my recovery and my sleep, and it's like having kind of another coach, just be able to monitor your rest and how much strain your body's taking on. And I think it just helps because I played 29 events last year, I think. So I mean, that's
crazy.
It's just a lot of golf, and it just helps to be able to keep your body as close to peak as you can throughout the long and grueling season.
Yeah. So would you recommend that for the average Joe? Like just say the average executive. Should they
I
have
would
a whoop?
for sure. Any like high performer or person who wants to have more energy, or whether it be golf or business or whatever in life. I mean, I think tracking your sleep and really understanding, you know, yeah, it's kind of related to fitness and it does your heart rate and it does all that stuff. But I mean, I think that's important though to get proper sleep, because you function at a much higher. Like for example, I'm not functioning very high right now, very little sleep and super jet lagged. Um, so yeah, my Whoop tells me that I can pull out the data and I'll be like, wow, I need to get some rest and get better sleep. But yeah, I would recommend it to anybody.
Good, good. Cory, do you have a question for Chase?
Yeah, well, I wanted to ask earlier when you were talking about kind of what a week looks like for you, Chase. I'm just curious, how much time do you spend like studying a course before you get there that you're getting ready to play for the first time? Or is it truly more just like you have to get there and get on the grounds and play? I mean, I'm sure you obviously study it some, but I'm curious what that looks like.
No, I do a ton of that. So I have somebody who sends me a report of the golf course before the week. And then I kind of know what to expect. I know the scoring averages. I have all the data on that I would ever need for the course, and I can just take what I need from it. Obviously, my caddy and I use that. So yeah, I mean, I have tons of data on the golf course before I get there, and then just kind of use whatever I deem fit.
So I've been a big fan lately, Chase, of those Straka golf reading books. What do you think of those?
Well, I used to love them. It definitely helped. But we can't use those anymore. That's been a rule change it started last year. We couldn't use them. So I used them on the challenge tour, and they really helped me more into the greens, because that's kind of one thing that the pre-reports I get really don't have, is like the in-depth green information that really helps into the greens, approach shots for me. And it definitely took me a little, bit to get used to not having it, but I think it's been a good rule change. And the whole point of it was to bring more touch and feel and just natural skill into golf at the professional level. And I think they've done that. So just kind of like anything, we just had to adapt with how it changed. And now it's completely normal. It was a little weird for the first month, but now it's normal.
I didn't know those were outlawed. So you can't have a green book anymore?
No, you can't. No. That was outlawed in 22. So last year you could use it, was 21, I believe.
Wow, poor Straka, because that company is legit. I bet the amateurs can use it though, right? I mean,
Straka needed a better lobbying group.
They do definitely need better.
Sounds like it.
What's your favorite place you've played in the world, Chase?
Wow, I mean, that's Florida. Can I say Florida? I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
Colombia was great. Spain's great. I mean, I loved Latin America. I kind of like Latin American culture. So I mean, I've said Florida, Colombia, and Spain. Like those are, I don't know. I enjoy that culture. Yeah, so one of those I would say. I mean, there's so many great spots we go on the European tour. There really is. But in terms of the culture, like golf aside, I really enjoyed Latin America when I was out of school. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's good. And Cory, you did some research on Chase this morning, right? You want to bring up what you found?
Yeah, so
no
Chase,
pressure here,
yeah, no pressure here, Chase. Do I understand correctly that your professional debut was in 2017 at the Digital Ally Open here?
That's correct. Yeah.
And I saw that you shot a 67 your first round.
I did. Yeah, I did. I think I birdied the first 2 or 3 holes to start. I was so nervous. This is the best. I was so nervous to start the tournament that like I completely like hit the, normally with the driver, obviously you hit the ball first. And I just freaking like fatted this driver way to the right. I mean, worst drive I've ever hit. And it was like this super easy starting hole. So I made birdie somehow. Like I have no idea how I didn't. So that's kind of the funny story. I was so nervous. I mean, I just shanked it. And
what course were you on?
Lionsgate. So it was number 10 for the tournament, number 1.
So the short little par 4, right?
Yeah, I mean, I just took a divot out of the putting green, right on the back green, back tee. Yeah.
Well, I was wondering about, because that's a great score, but I was thinking, I mean, what it must have probably been like to make that. It's pretty neat that it was here in Kansas City, but
obviously,
What-
getting the spot, Digital Ally giving me the spot was great. And yeah, I didn't play good the next day, but it was a great experience. And certainly, playing at that high of a level that early, whether I somehow won, which I was nowhere near good enough to win at that time, or, just having the 2 days that I played was huge moving forward.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's really cool, Chase. So, what's the best way for our listeners and our viewers to follow you? So now that they know a little bit more about who Chase Hanna is, local Kansas City guy, KU college athlete. Now you're traveling the world. How can we watch you play? What's the best way to do that?
Golf Channel has our tournaments on, in the mornings, I would say, depending on the time zone on Golf Channel. Pretty much all of them are on. And then the DP World has a, good app and website and all that. And click the favorite button and follow me. Hopefully I make a bunch of birdies.
That's right. And how are the crowd? Like, where would you say golf is biggest in your opinion? Like, obviously it's big in America and probably the UK, but like, where are the crowds the biggest? I know you're in the Rolex series now, so I'm sure those events are quite a bit bigger than a regular event. But have you noticed like a certain part of the world where you're like, wow, I had no idea golf was this big of a sport in this part of the world?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously in the States, it's so much bigger than Europe as a whole. Just more people play, and it's more in the culture. UK, obviously Scotland, where it started, is big. We play the Dunhill Links each year at Carnoustie and St Andrews and Kingsbarn. That's an awesome event. Got to play that last year. And then Wentworth is a big event. It's kind of their flagship event. It's the players for the European or DP World. So those are obviously have the biggest crowds. And then outside of the UK, it's hard to say one specific one. Denmark has big following. So probably Denmark, but I think for some reason they support it better than the others. I don't have a very good answer to who's the biggest, but definitely the UK is the biggest golf country in Europe.
And okay, that makes sense. And I know that you're newly married, so how is that working? I mean, is your wife going along now with you on all these places? And congratulations, by the way. But how's that working out?
Yeah, it's good. So she's going to come to Italy and Belgium, and then there's a U.S. Open qualifier in London. So that's coming up in May. So I'm actually kind of getting my schedule nailed away here coming up. But just got back from a 6-week trip right after I got married. So that was certainly, I'm not sure that was a smart decision, but we're still married.
Good.
That was good. And then, yeah, she'll travel quite a bit with me. She has a great job where she can do that, and definitely blessed that she can be on the road with me. And we don't really have our schedules kind of change week to week, month to month, but I think I'm gonna have close 5 to 7 weeks home here in the next couple months. So I'm excited to be home for a little bit.
Got it. Yeah, and I know you're recording this back in Kansas City, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple more questions because I know you probably want to get some rest because you've been all over the place. But it wouldn't be a finance show without asking you, and we ask all our clients this, but I'm curious to hear what your answer is why is money important to you?
Wow, I mean, money's important for a lot of different reasons, but money's important for me just because you're able to support your family and you're able to have freedom to do what you think's best, and you're able to help out hopefully people that are close to you and things that are close to your heart. And I don't know, it kind of just gives you ability to make changes to either your own life or others.
Yeah, that's good. I like that one a lot. And what about this one? What's your favorite thing to spend money on?
Yeah, definitely events. So that's whether it be sporting events or country concerts, or my caddy was actually just messing with me about this. He's like, "What do you spend your money on?" He's like, you don't like cars. He's a car guy and a watch guy, and that is as far away from me as possible. Like, I do not care about those things. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I'm just like, I will like going to sporting events. I mean, that's definitely something I'll spend money on, or going to concerts, or something like that, and events. And I'm not a car person, so you won't see me.
Good thing.
You won't see me driving a Lamborghini.
That's probably good. Yeah, those are some pretty high.
Never say never,
especially
Chase.
especially for a caddy.
I'm going to say never on the Lamborghini.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
Well, yeah, and good for your caddy, man. Looks like he's got some night. We maybe need to get him as a client if he's rolling around with a Rolex and a Lamborghini. So good for him.
Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, I should know what watch he wears. I mean, he wears it, but I don't think
nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Well, good. Cory, did you have any last questions as we wrap up the show here today?
No, Chase, I'm sure you probably need some rest, but thank you for joining us here today.
Yeah, of course. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course, Chase. And I know, and again, for our followers, Chase, I know you're out there. You're pretty active probably on Instagram. Was that what you say? That's your most active social media?
I would say Instagram. Yeah. Yeah. Instagram.
Yeah, so,
Chase_Hanna, something like that. Not
sure. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, if you guys want to follow along Chase, your caddy's a good one too. He posts a lot of behind the scenes stuff, which I appreciate.
Yeah, my caddy is very active. He posts a lot of stuff, and yeah, he's great.
Yeah. So certainly, yeah, if you want me to, we can get his handle on there too, because I follow your caddy. I just don't know off the top of my head. So, but thank you again, Chase. Safe travels. Best of luck to you this year. You kind of started out of the gate pretty hot here, so we're excited with that momentum to keep going. And hopefully now you've got some more Kansas City followers and people cheering you on. So thank you again for joining us.
That's right. The first day of March right now. Rock chalk.
That's right. That's right. March Madness is here. So thank you, Chase. Thank you, Cory.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Upticks. Click the subscribe button to be notified when new episodes become available. Also, be sure to visit our website, falconwealthadvisors.com, and click the Contact Us button if you'd like to meet with Jake and his team.